The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on a Tuesday afternoon for the next, not 3 hours, 2.5 hours today. Ole Miss Rebels basketball team, the undefeated Ole Miss Rebels, in action tonight. Game starts at 6, but we'll be carrying pregame at 5:30. So we're out early, but we're here for the next 2.5 hours. And Brett, it's a big day today. The Tigers in action. I didn't know this. I guess Greg Gaston said this earlier today, and Johnny Radio was talking about earlier. First top 25 versus top 25 matchup inside FedEx Forum since 2014, which I looked it up. I believe if my research is right,
Louisville?
that was my first guess. Was Louisville, but they played UConn later that year.
Boatwright Napier.
And yeah, that's right.
On their way to winning it all.
And that was a top 25 versus top 25.
That
matchup.
was in AAC tournament. The inaugural AAC tournament, wasn't it?
That is correct. But
that's when Boatwright and Napier hit the launching pad.
It really was. But, that year I was looking at, I don't remember. I remember parts of that season. I remember when Memphis played Louisville here. And that's why that was my first guess, and it was your first guess as well.
UConn was in there.
UConn was in there. Gonzaga was here as a ranked team, and Memphis was ranked at the time. SMU was ranked versus ranked. I don't know if they played here against SMU. I know they played there against SMU. That was a good season in terms of ranked opponents.
30-win season, wasn't it?
I believe it was. It was a really good year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big night, but also...
But it is big tonight.
It's huge. And then for the Grizzlies, the John Morant return game tonight.
0-0.
0-0.
The next great chapter starts tonight.
Brett, it was so nice last night after that game to just kind of wash your hands and say, all right, start anew tomorrow.
Hit amnesia, hit delete, move on. Couldn't have been more nightmarish.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was as bad as it gets, but it's over, and now we'll see what John Morant, the question of the day is, what do you expect John Morant to do? What do you think he does tonight? And I think he'll play well. I think he might be a little rusty. Obviously, you can do as much as you want in preparations of practice and trying to, get right, but, it's different to, be in an actual game atmosphere. So I think it might, take a little bit, maybe take a half for him to really get comfortable out there, but it's just going to be fun to see him back out on the court.
And no Punch and Judy opponent tonight. It's Pelicans, and that roster is really loaded in that arena. It will be rocking, a TNT game, not our regular Memphis crew we get to watch and enjoy so much. Bryant, when we did all these predictions we do, in that 25 without Ja, nobody was even after the Steve Adams news. Nobody was close to 6-19. Nobody would have offered that up. If you had, you would have been the biggest Grizz hater ever.
Oh, absolutely. It would have been, how could this team, even with Steven Adams out, this team is
Why
great.
do you hate
Jaren
us?
Jackson, but, they did not have any rebounding, and they still don't have any rebounding, and that's going to be an issue.
And it's real easy to say, and I don't very often. It's really hard to prove, and that's why I don't do it very often, but I'm getting ready to do it now. And last night was part of it. There were some effort issues.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a couple of times. There has been, and it's weird to say this about an NBA team, but when you are struggling as bad as the Grizzlies are struggling right now, it is very easy to fall into complacency and to kind of fall into, we're look up at the scoreboard and you're down 20 in the first half, and you say, well, why am I going to keep going? Even though the NBA is a game of runs and that 20-point lead can easily be reversed.
There's very few of the 19 you could turn into a W.
Yeah, very few.
There's more of the 6 that you could turn into a loss. Again, thank you, Baby Doncic.
Yes, thank you, Baby Doncic. There was a Jazz game in there. The Jazz game we were at on the floor where they had
the home win.
Of guys. Yeah, they had a couple of guys out. Lauri Markkanen was out.
I've been to as many Tiger wins at FedEx Forum as I've been to Grizzlies. I've been to one Tiger game that was Saturday against Clemson.
Yikes. But, hey, Brett, like you said, 0-0 now. And, hopefully you can start that, what will be a tough push.
I said it during the tough start, the 0-6 start. there are going to be more losing streaks.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know that they get to 6 again this year.
Yeah.
But so far this year, they've had a 1-game losing streak, a 2-game losing streak, a 4-game losing streak, currently in a 5-game losing streak, and had the 6-game losing streak to start the season.
Yeah. No, I mean, and
that's the bingo card of losing streaks.
It really is. And then, I think if you think John Morant is going to come back and play every single game or just be out, a game here, a game there, I think that would be wishful.
He's not playing 67 games.
No. I mean, unfortunately, there will probably be an injury in there somewhere.
And the load management people wouldn't allow it.
Absolutely. But, I'm even saying that is included in there. I think he's going to, he hasn't gone a season where he hasn't missed time with an injury. And so I think there's going to be an injury in there at some point.
Games played the rest of the year. What's your number for that? Of the 67 possibilities, how many for John Morant?
Possibilities. I think somewhere between 45 and 50.
I'm right there with you. I was thinking 45.
I was thinking 47, but I didn't want to go.
Okay, and that 45 that he plays, they need to go 30 and 15.
They need to be. They need to have a very high winning percentage in those 45.
And then
games.
maybe go 500 in the ones without him.
Yeah.
So the 8 wins without him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 30 and 8. That's 38, and the 6 they got 44. That gets you in the playoffs.
Sure does. Yeah. So I think there should be a lot of hope.
Probably gets you
with
the
him returning
8 or 9 seed.
I think that would be huge if you could, Brett. If you can get Ja back and this team can play well enough to get into the tournament when you're not having to play playing games, I think that's a massive success on the season.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
But that would be the 6th seed to not be in the play-in.
That's true. I forget that the 7 and 8 are still in the play-in.
7 and 8 they play first, and that establishes the 7.
I don't think they can get
winner of
up to
that game is the 7.
I don't think they can get up to 6.
No, I don't either.
So it's play-in or bust.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I was getting really excited.
But that counts as playoffs.
Well, but also, if you're in 7 and 8, then you have to lose 2 games to miss out on the
that's right.
on the tournament.
And
so
remember last year,
yeah, that's a good point.
A team went to the NBA Finals coming out of that in the East.
So I'm back.
Okay.
I'm saying if they can get to a 7 or 8 seed and be in a position where they have to lose twice in the play-ins, that's a massive success on the season.
Massive. And then get to the end of the year and just really hit reboot. But tonight starts a reboot of sorts.
Oh, it absolutely does. It's a all-star caliber player that you're bringing back. I think any team is much worse.
Franchise.
Yes. When you lose your franchise player, when you lose an all-star, you are a worse team. And when you get him back, you're a much better team. And so I think we'll see a different – and I think when you talk about effort, Brett, I think there is – when you are able to kind of have all of this noise go out the window and you're back to just playing basketball with your franchise player, I think the energy level comes back. I think that kind of competitive edge comes back a little bit.
Between now and about 5:25, 5:30 or so, we have a lot to do. And, Johnny, I will warn you now, at big number of the daytime, I'm going full Bryant with a decimal point.
Ooh.
I am shocked.
Is it allowed? Because you really didn't like it yesterday.
No, you didn't. You were.
I am shocked, Brett. A decimal point from you?
When you went finish judge at platform diving yesterday, you didn't like it.
No.
Brett, for you, I accept it, man.
Okay, thank you, Johnny.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Did you like that, Brian?
Yeah, I think one of my headphones just went out.
Yeah.
My left side.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Did it?
Yeah, and it scared me. So this is going to be interesting to do the rest of the show. But no.
Sometimes if you toggle the plug-in.
Yep, there we go.
There you go.
And we're back.
There you go.
Kind of. Maybe I just need to hold it the rest of the show. I can do that. Maybe.
No, sometimes when you actually leave it a little ajar like mine, it works better than all the way in.
I'll have to mess with it during the break.
Veteran move, I knew.
Veteran move. Hey, that's why I lean on you, Brett, is because you have all the veteran moves in your pocket. Brett,
I wonder how many times I've stuck the plug-in in right there.
I'm sure a ton. But Brett, we have a lot of things to talk about today, but we also have a lot of, we've got to do Tiger Bankroll at some point today.
We do 3.5. This morning, 2.5. Already 3.5.
Is it still at 3.5?
It is. That's what we're going to go fly with.
And then we've also, Brett, we have a bowl game we got to pick tonight.
We've got a
Marshall and UTSA.
Is it tonight?
It is tonight. The Scooters Coffee Bowl or whatever it's called.
Is that right?
That is correct. That's tonight.
I thought it was tomorrow afternoon.
No, tonight at 8 o'clock, late game, Brett. That's why you missed it. So
How'd I
late.
leave it off the rundown?
It's so late, Brett, that it's past bedtime, 8 o'clock. I mean, the only game tonight. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, it's the only game tonight, and we're playing it at 8 o'clock. I think that's somewhat ridiculous.
I mean, I had the plug-in down, but I had the game wrong.
Well, hey, that's all that matters. I mean, if we're batting 500 here, I mean, that's a good day.
Right, but wow, we do.
We do.
The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, and right now UTSA an 8-point favorite. Brett, I'm hopping all over UTSA -8. I mean, are you kidding me?
Are you sure? Because I had it at 12.5 this morning.
Brett, I saw it at 13 this morning. I'm looking at it right now.
What in the world's going on?
Something's
wrong with Frank Harris.
Frank Harris is not playing. I mean, that's what that tells me. I'm about to look up Frank Harris because Frank Harris is not playing if it's gone from 13 to 8.5.
Frank Harris may be more sick than Jordan Brown if that's the case.
More sick than is Frank Harris currently sicker than Zion Williamson, who's questionable tonight with illness, or Jordan Brown? I mean, I think those
no Zion job matchup tonight.
Maybe not. We don't know if he's playing.
There's a lot of illness going around.
A lot of illness going around. A lot of stuff. I don't see anything about Frank Harris.
If
being
Jordan
out.
Brown had what I had the last 2 weeks, or really got like up to last Friday,
understand
the 2 weeks, I can understand why he's AWOL.
It's been a little long.
I didn't miss a day though.
No, you didn't. I mean, but you're a pro, Brett.
Wanted to die a couple of them.
Wow, Jordan Brown, an amateur. Well, speaking of, we've talked a lot this opening segment about Job being back in the Grizzlies tonight, but Tigers in Virginia, a massive game and kind of an early tip-off, 6 p.m. on ESPN2. We'll talk a lot about this game in our next segment.
Head downtown now.
But two very different styles at hand tonight.
It is a real contrast. Someone will try to impose their will, and who wins it? It's a really good matchup for Coach Hardaway against, I think, national champion coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I think I know it,
and
yeah.
And I have Purdue in my Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
I think Purdue's going to pull what UVA did. Suffer that humiliation of losing to the 16, win it the next year. That's what Virginia did.
I actually saw, funny enough, Rick Pitino tweet that out over the weekend after Purdue beat Arizona, and he said, I think we see exactly what happened to Virginia happen to Purdue.
When we do the gift box first of all, to Jordan Brown, get well soon. Shouldn't we send one to Pitino for David Jones?
Oh, absolutely.
Why didn't he keep him?
There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a story there.
I know what it is. It's the hubris of these coaches. Mm-hmm. I'm going to clear the deck, start over.
But it's just so weird.
And in that first year, they can always. Well, I'm starting all over.
Exactly. We just had to clear how there was too much.
14 new guys.
It's what Sean Payton did.
It insulates
with Denver when he comes in and goes, "This is just such a mess. We have to start from complete ground
bigger than
zero."
I can do.
And you can't in the NFL. You can't just get rid of everybody. But in college football and college basketball, you can do Dion and go in and say, "We're getting rid of everybody and bringing in my guys."
Dion, I hadn't caught what bowl he's in. His bowl coming up soon.
Yeah,
sorry.
Maybe. No, I
Mr. September.
Yeah, that's right. I looked up because I remember David Cobb, who we talked to yesterday. I heard a little under the weather today, so I hope David feels better. He had to miss out on John's show.
Is that right?
Today, didn't feel well. But I remember
back on David.
Yeah, I remember back earlier this season. Actually,
surely I didn't infect him through the phone.
Through the phone.
No.
That would be new. You would have to call some like doctors or something if that.
We'd be back in mass then.
Yeah, we really would. But earlier this season, I remember before the year started, we were talking to David, and everybody at CBS Sports put together their top 25 coaches in college basketball, and Tony Bennett is 6th.
He's always
behind Scott Drew, Mark Few, Kelvin Sampson, Tom Izzo, and Bill Self. Who is number 7? Dan Hurley. And then John Calipari at 8th. I mean, that is an elite class that he's a part of. And he deserves it. Yeah.
And 6, 7, and 8 all have one each.
Yeah.
Tell me the number of stops for Bennett in his coaching career. I know he was at Washington State.
Yeah.
I covered him in a Sweet 16 in Charlotte in 2008. Mm-hmm. Tennessee was there. Everybody else was with the Tigers. I was with Tennessee. Louisville, North Carolina, Washington State, and Tennessee, and Charlotte.
Yep. Let's see. Stops as a head coach. So Wisconsin as an assistant, Washington State as an assistant, Washington State as an associate head coach, Washington State as a head coach, and then Virginia.
So 2 stops. So a couple stops.
So 2 stops. But
distinguished. Very distinguished in both.
Absolutely, 100%. And I mean, a legendary coach that give Penny a ton of credit, because we have heard about other elite coaches, marquee coaches that Penny Hardaway has tried to set up, home and homes with, or try to set something up. And, I think very rare high major coaches, elite coaches want to go on the road, especially on the road first. But to be able to get Virginia to come here is definitely huge.
John Varley tells us Frank Harris has opted out.
Crazy.
Thank you, John.
Wow. So that changes everything. I'm glad.
From 12.5 to 8. He's that big a difference. He was that big a difference when he was out early in the year for them.
Yeah. John Harden just texted me and texted me right when we were done talking about it.
On there.
Well, he didn't say he knew. He said it's freaking me out. What is going on?
Don't hit yourself on the head, John.
No, please don't, John. But I guess Frank Harris out. I mean, that's massive for this game, and really changes my intrigue level of watching UTSA and Marshall tonight.
I'm trying to get to the Tiger basketball game notes now. Mm-hmm. You may know this. How often have these 2 teams played?
Oh, I have no idea.
Memphis and
that's a great question.
Virginia. I don't remember many matchups.
No, it can be a lot. But this is a huge one tonight.
This is seeding game.
No, you're absolutely right, and we'll have to get to it. We'll get to it at 4:30 when we talk more about this game. We have a new updated bracket from Joey Brackett, so that will be fun. And Brett, I love the first game that he has the Tigers playing, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I'm trying to find it. I see VCU come up. I see Virginia Tech come up. I do not see Virginia. So we'll have to look that up.
I do remember this one now. The 2 sides met in the second round of the 2014 that year again.
Oh, wow.
NCAA tournament.
Interesting. Okay, so at least another time.
And Virginia put it on the Tigers.
Oh, did they really? Huh. Well, maybe we'll avenge that defeat tonight. The Tigers will. That game at 6 o'clock tonight.
Only previous matchup was that tournament.
Wow, so one time. Interesting. Well, that game tip-off at 6 p.m. On ESPN2. Before we get to top and not top story of the day, let me set up today's show. Like I said, a short show for us because we are out for 5:30 pregame of Ole Miss versus Troy. Tonight, 3:30, I mentioned it earlier, Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, also the host of Woolo and Friends, will join us to talk about the game tonight between Memphis and Virginia. 3:45, we'll get back into the conversation about Ja and the Grizzlies in action tonight against the Pelicans, and question marks around Zion Williamson on if he'll play tonight. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville will join us to talk college football. 4:30, we'll talk more about 23rd ranked Tigers versus 22nd ranked Virginia. We'll also get to Tiger Bankroll. Right now, 3.5 for the Tigers tonight, so that's what we'll play it off of when we make our picks in a little more than an hour. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant will join us to talk the NFL. We'll talk to Bo for about 18 or 19 minutes, and then we'll have to get out with him and go straight to Taco Bell Crunch Time that we'll do at about 5:20 or so. We'll get out about 5:25, get straight to Ole Miss versus Troy pregame. That tip set for 6 o'clock. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's time for the Family Leisure's Christmas sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Are you tired and sore from the shopping? Check out their in-stock selection of hot tubs and massage chairs. Surprise kids with a new arcade, game table, or play gyms. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy, and also on sale. Theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from their family to yours at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Johnny Hill, and we're with you until about 5:30 today. And you can join us at 901-360-8255. Hit us up at the text line or call us at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story of the day is Ja Morant's return to the court tonight down in New Orleans against the Pelicans. The 25 games have come and gone. Was it fun? Not at all. But we passed it. And Ja Morant will take the court for the first time this season. He's been seen at shoot-arounds these past couple of games, kind of leading up, kind of working back to getting ready for game action. I said it when we were talking about it earlier. It could be a little rusty tonight. I mean, his first time in a game since last season. It could take a couple of quarters. It could take a whole game for him to get really comfortable and back to the all-star caliber player we've seen the past couple of seasons. But it'll certainly be better to see him on the court. This team will certainly be better with him running the point. And I think everybody in Memphis is rejoicing today that their all-star franchise player will be back in a Grizzlies uniform tonight.
Boy, I'm glad you went with that as the top story, because it just sealed me from the text line of going, why are you hating on the Tigers? Why are you not your top story? Because here's my top story. On a jam-packed Tuesday, a lot going on, but when the most important basketball player in the history of Memphis makes his return after the biggest PR nightmare the Grizzlies have ever had, that's the top story.
Yep.
He's our first real superstar since we've had an NBA team in town. So much depended on him. Year 5 for Ja Morant, and it finally begins in New Orleans after a nightmare the last 6 months, really even 9 months. He's already the 8th leading scorer in team history. The future, the reboot, the comeback starts tonight.
Not top story of the day.
Well, and Brett, I don't know how anybody can even argue about that being the top story. I mean, it is nationally one of the biggest stories in sports. Now, you go to ESPN and the top story is of Ja Morant. The thing right under it is Stephen A. Smith giving his thoughts on Ja Morant. LeBron James tweeted out a welcome
ESPN.com.
back. Yeah, exactly. And so, it is the national story of the day. And so that's why it's both of our top story of the day. My not top story of the day, though, is Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers back in action tonight against Virginia. 23 versus 22. An unbelievably elite Hall of Fame coach on the other side versus Penny Hardaway that is really, really coming together, I think, as a head coach, and has looked really, really good this season with an experienced team. It's going to be a matchup of two styles. I think this game could either be played...
Styles make fights, Brian.
They really do, and this game could either be played in the 50s and be a Virginia game, or it could be played in the 70s and be a Memphis game. So it's going to be a really fun game. I'm curious, and we'll talk, I'm sure, about it in our next segment with Dave. Naquan Tomlin, will he be on the bench? He was in inside FedEx Forum on Saturday for that game, but he was sitting in the stands. Will he be on the bench? Could he maybe play? I would be surprised if he plays tonight against Virginia, but will he be on the bench kind of in a jumper or something? It will be fun to watch.
It's my not top story as well, and it's really big tonight, but Saturday made this one not as big as if you had to have this one. This is a little, not full house money, but Saturday's big win helps you.
Yeah.
And tonight against Coach Bennett and UVA, I think it's the best coach Penny Hardaway's ever faced since he's been head coach at Memphis. Only national championship coach, isn't it? Barnes didn't have one.
Barnes didn't have one.
Musselman doesn't.
It's his first.
Kelvin Sampson doesn't.
Have one. Kelvin Sampson doesn't have one. Yeah.
Hurley didn't when he faced him.
Right. So, this would be first.
Really big matchup tonight. If the Tigers win any game tonight, I think it's huge. If Penny Hardaway wins the game in the 50s playing UVA style, then a lot of people will be awakened to he's really growing as a head coach. Some of the sets and out-of-bounds stuff Saturday,
really good.
I thought was pure master class stuff. 23rd ranked Tigers against number 22 UVA. Tigers in their own version of kind of their in-season tournament. We knew in the preseason, November and December really would dictate kind of how March could potentially go. A win tonight, gold star successful non-conference period already. Back-to-back versus the mighty ACC, already 3-1 against the mighty SEC with Vandy on Saturday at FedEx Forum. Tonight seals, with any kind of work in the AAC, 4 to 5 seed category.
I think it absolutely does. And it's going to be a lot of fun tonight at FedEx Forum. It's going to be a fun night in the city of Memphis, trying to keep up with the Tigers and the Grizzlies. It really is going to be a lot of fun. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we return, we're talking Tiger basketball with Dave Woloshin.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
While interest rates are on the rise everywhere else, at Genesis Diamonds, they have got just the relief you need this holiday season. 5 years, 0 interest on anything and everything. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine. That's right. Genesis is rolling back interest rates to 0.0%. So that $5,000 ring is yours for just $85 a month. Nothing's held back. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, even luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Just pick any item for that special someone and spread your payments out over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. A $10,000 designer ring comes to just $167 a month. Don't miss this incredible offer. Where else in America can you get financing for 0%? Colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry, the year's most treasured gifts, all included in this once-a-year offer. This Christmas in Memphis, you have a great alternative so you can get more for your money. That alternative is Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
On approved credit, see store for details.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7, 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what-ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
Grind don't stop. Join Jared, Dez, Ja Morant, and your Memphis Grizzlies this Thursday for a holiday showdown versus the Indiana Pacers, presented by Bally Sports. Arrive early. First 10,000 receive a Grizzlies rally flag. Get ready for a star-studded show and secure your tickets today by visiting Grizzlies.com.
It's the hometown Memphis Tigers taking on Iowa State in this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Plus, Memphis music legends, the Barkays, will be there performing the music that made Memphis, and you'll want to be there too.
Everybody say, so bigger. Say, so bigger.
It's all happening Friday, December 29th at 2:30. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's been really slow today from an earlier wreck we had on 40 eastbound coming over from Crittenden County, West Memphis, headed towards the bridge. As a matter of fact, it's flooded a lot of traffic on the 55 southbound, trying to get across the bridge. Again, coming over from West Memphis has just been downright frustrating for the last hour or so. Traffic's on the increase even more out here on I-40 eastbound from Sycamore View Road all the way out to Germantown Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Let's welcome longtime voice of the Tigers and host of Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Dave Woloshin to talk Tigers football and basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now to talk some Tigers, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, joins us now just a couple of hours away from tip-off tonight between the Tigers and Virginia. Top 25 matchup inside FedEx Forum, but Dave joins us now. Dave, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with what happened over the weekend, a big game against Clemson, and the Tigers. Tiger fans brought a ton of energy to FedEx Forum, and the Tigers really matched it with their play. What were your biggest takeaways from that win for the Tigers over Clemson?
Well, I guess I was just like all the fans. I was, impressed with the style of play, the intensity, two quality teams, so much on the line. Best crowd of the year, maybe in a couple of years. And you knew that if you won this game, you were finally going to be ranked, and that's exactly what happened. Now you got pressure to keep on winning, and that makes tonight's game even more important because, honestly, and I don't mean to diminish either Vandy or Austin Peay, but you're going to be big-time favored in those basketball games. This one is the same as it was with Clemson. The Tigers going in are 3.5-point favorites. This is ranked versus ranked, first time in a regular season since 2014 in FedEx Forum that you're getting that. And if you win, you feel like you'll be there the whole year as long as you keep winning. Penny Hardaway said this to me when we taped this TV show yesterday, and he's going to use this as motivation, that you've got to keep winning because with this league, if you don't, as soon as you fall, and maybe not every time, but if you do, there's a good chance you'll be out. So they've got to really keep the pressure on themselves to keep on getting W's. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that you'll need for motivation tonight. I think Quinterly, Jones, everybody knows here what's on the line this evening.
That's right, Dave, and the Tigers have really taken care of business this year. And I go back to that VCU game. That was as must-win as it felt like in this early go of it, because without that, it would have really made the arithmetic tough on this. Now, tonight is not that must-win. I think most people thought split with Clemson, split with UVA, and against UVA, seeing that coach, Tony Bennett, I think this is the best opposing coach Penny Hardaway has faced in his Memphis tenure. This is a national championship winning coach. Rick Barnes doesn't have that. Kelvin Sampson doesn't have that. Eric Musselman doesn't have that. I think this is the best opposing coach he's faced.
Well, 419 wins would say that.
Yep. At a
3
couple stops.
National Coach of the Year honors would say that. But I'll be honest with you, and there's no question what a good coach he is. What a good guy he is. Played for his dad at Wisconsin Green Bay. He's 2 of 26 coaches that played in the NBA. Oh, by the way, the other guy, Penny, he's one of those 2. But I'm not sure this team is as good as Clemson. On paper, just coming in, now I haven't seen this great defense firsthand in a long time, except on TV. But honestly, on paper, looking at numbers, I think Clemson is better than Virginia. And if Memphis could escape shooting 4 of 26 and missing 5 free throws down the stretch, they have a chance to win this game. This team can't rebound. This team averages only 66 points a game. And if Memphis gets to 70, they're going to win the game, I think.
Oh, Dave, I so agree. The over and under is 130.5. I think under is in Virginia's favor.
Right.
Overs, the Tigers don't want to get in a 55-54 game.
Mm-mm.
No, they do not. But that's what Tony's so good at doing. I mean, they're
imposing.
They're second in the country in defense. They only give up 53 points a game. Folks only shoot 359 against them, under 36%. So, but they don't score. The one thing they don't do is they don't give you a whole lot of extra possessions from turnovers. This is the best, 80 turnovers in 10 games. 8 turnovers. So they're going to take care of the ball, but I'll tell you this much. They don't get a lot of offensive rebounds. They don't rebound well. They are -3 rebounds on the year.
And they're not big. They don't have a presence like Clemson had inside, and a guy had the game of his life and wanted to turn into a classic Memphis wrestling heel.
And they're young. I mean, they got Reese Beckman. He's the one senior that's back that's probably an NBA guy. But these guys are young, and I want to point out to you, they're 9-1 this year. You know how many games they won on the road? True road? Zippo.
Yeah.
This is their first real road game. And in the starting lineup, they got 3 sophomores.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going back to the game against Clemson, Brett just mentioned their big guy, P.J. Hall, who did kind of turn into a heel towards the end of the game and now might be the most hated opponent in Memphis. But there was a sequence late in that game. We've talked about Malcolm Dandridge and kind of the strides he's made this year. There was a sequence late in that game in the second half where Malcolm starts off on P.J. Hall. Hall gives it up to one of the guards for Clemson. He switches over, forces a steal, dives on it, and gets possession for the Tigers. What have you made of what Malcolm has done this season and what he has done since Jordan Brown has been sick?
Well, let's just point out that this is the first time Malcolm has been healthy, really, since his sophomore year in high school. So we'll begin with that. We'll begin with effort, because I'm not sure that was always there last year.
Yeah.
It's been 100% go this whole year. He's in shape. He's healthy. I'm not going to tell you this is a 22, 24-minute guy. He's an 18 to 20-minute guy that will give you everything he has. And that sequence where he made that steal and he went down the sideline tripping and got the ball, and this is what I'll remember about P.J. Hall, because P.J. Hall's release to me at the top of his shot, the way he lets it go, reminds me of Bill Walton. It really does.
Yeah, that flick.
He got that bucket over Jourdain, and then he made that little too small sign to Nicholas. That's part of the reason why he became a heel. But here's what I'm going to remember. He gave that ball up to Malco, who goes down and misses a layup after he's tripping. But even with tripping and stumbling and finally getting the ball and going to the hole, P.J. Hall couldn't catch up with him. And then P.J. Hall was so tired that when Malco missed the shot, little tiny Jalen Young 15 over him. That's what I'm going to remember.
Right, Dave, and he was stumbling and bumbling and beating it with a stick, but finally got it up on to the rim area and got the stick back, and really the crowd really responded so well to that. Saturday, Dave, I was so impressed with Coach Hardaway out of timeouts, drawing up stuff, and it worked almost every time. We talk such the tactician that Coach Bennett is and the coaching chops that he has. I saw Saturday truly X and O Coach Hardaway.
Yeah, and he reminded them that if the free throws were missed, and that I don't know what the heck happened there, hit their first 12, and then I think fatigue and pressure literally got to those guys. Mm-hmm. But Jaquan Walton had the sense, and I'm sure he was reminded, to foul with 1.3 to go, and it was a 1-and-1. So he had the guy had to make the first to miss the second, right? And it worked to perfection.
Sure did.
And I got to remind people, Penny Hardaway has beaten some pretty good coaches along the way.
Those I named, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He absolutely does. Naquan Tomlin was in the building on Saturday against Clemson. Do you expect him to be on the bench this game? Do you expect him to still be in the crowd? What do you expect tonight for the newest Tiger?
Well, I'm going to know here in a few minutes, because when I get off with you, I'll just about be at FedEx Forum. And I have a good feeling about this. I'm not sure when those grades had to be posted. I know they were doing everything they could to get every grade that was possible. And he's passed his courses. He walked down the aisle and graduated from K-State, but they have to officially be posted by that university, and then you show proof of that, and then you're admitted into the U of M. They were working like the Dickens to get that done yesterday, and I think they felt like it was a pretty good chance that he would play. So I'm saying it's better than 50-50 the kid will play. Now, he hasn't played since last March. So, and he doesn't really know this team, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you give him, 5-8 minutes? How much of a factor will he really be in the game? I don't know. But I think there's a chance he'll get some playing time tonight.
Look out for a lot of minutes played against Austin Peay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could see that.
Or Vandy.
Or Vandy, yeah.
That's a week from
and
Saturday.
Vandy's really depleted.
If they win this game, folks, they're 11-2 almost certainly.
Oh, no doubt.
In conference play. When this season began, you would have taken that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I believe I had them 10-3. What did you have them, guys?
Bryant had 8-5. I had 9-4.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'd take that.
I don't think anybody in town had 11-2.
No, I don't see how you could with that gauntlet that they had to take on.
And many new faces.
And that will be the subject going into the new year of what is the AAC. We know what 18-0 gets you. Is it 17-1, 16-2? Can you dip down and lose 4 and go 14-4?
I think they can lose. It depends on where they lose.
Right.
I think they can lose 3 games. As long as they split in the regular season with FAU and win that, I don't think they'll hurt their seeding very much. Look, every conference has teams losing. They do.
Absolutely.
And that's bound to happen sooner or later.
That's life
You're
on the road.
You're going to get tripped up in Tulane. They've got scholarship
East Carolina, Wichita State.
East Carolina, I've watched them play twice now. They lost in the end at home to South Carolina and at Florida. They could have won both those games. They just got to figure out how to finish. They've got some players on that team. I don't think Memphis is going to run the gamut and, go 17-1 and split with FAU. I think both FAU and Memphis will slip along the way. They're going to lose 2 or 3 games.
I agree. And when the Tigers go to UAB, that will be their Super Bowl. That'll be UAB Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like old times. Their coach is very familiar with Memphis, having been an Ole Miss, having played at UAB and played against Memphis and coached against Memphis at UAB. Andy Kennedy knows what's up. He's going to have his team ready, and that is about as close geographically to a rivalry game now as you're going to get in this league.
That's right.
Because there is no more Houstons or Cincinnatis that you can go, well, we got this history.
For a dramatic effect, I wish Coach Hardaway would take Pierre Henderson-Niles and just set him on the bench and have him glare Dylan Brooks style at the UAB entrance area.
Where is he? You know,
I don't know. I don't know.
I did it. Very first time Jonathan Pierre came in, I don't know where my head was at because they didn't look at me all alike. But I go, oh, Pierre Niles into the game.
I think I might have heard that. I vaguely remember that. Last thing for you, Dave, before we let you go on the football side of things, Ryan Silverfield picked up a huge commitment over the weekend from starting running back at South Carolina, Mario Anderson, who rushed for over 700 yards, picked the Tigers over offers from USC and Oklahoma. What did you make of that announcement?
I'm stunned, honestly. I have no idea how much NIL money that cost. I love what the kid said, though. The kid goes, I want to be a featured back on a team that sends running backs to the NFL.
Yeah, it's going places.
That's the thing of beauty, and I don't blame him for leaving South Carolina. Didn't Rocket Sanders leave Arkansas to go there? So
he did.
You know, he wasn't going to be the featured back probably, so he will be here. He'll replace Blake Watson. I think great things will happen. I mean, that running game will certainly help Seth Hennigan pass the ball to Rock Taylor.
Oh, absolutely. It was a big surprise. I mean, I was shocked by it, but a huge pickup for Ryan Silverfield for sure. But, Dave, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy tonight's game. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
You got it. Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. Happy holidays to you and yours. Thank you so much. Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, and he'll be rocking at FedEx Forum. We're getting closer and closer to tip-off. If you're on your way down, you want to eat before you go, a lot of great locations for Jason's Deli, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Greg Gaston and I were at Park Place today. Yeah, and Greg hit the complimentary ice cream on the way out. I don't blame him. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing. It was so much fun being there with Greg and seeing a lot of friends there, whether you're dining in, to go, or delivery. They have you covered at Jason's Deli. All those salads like the Mesa chicken salad, the chicken club salad. Greg got the club sandwich. It looked great. The big chef salad. And in every location, the great salad bar, over 30 items to choose from. You prepare it however you would like. Plenty of organic food to choose from. Jason's Deli, all about choice. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. I know a lot of family and friends coming in. You need a lot of food around. Keep Jason's Deli in mind. Keep the soups in mind. I know we're going to have the traditional fare on Christmas Day, but you're going to have a lot of people in and out, and you want to keep plenty of food around. Let Jason's Deli take care of it. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com, but visit these locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova.
Well, we've talked a lot in this segment about the Tigers basketball game tonight against Virginia, but the Grizzlies also in action tonight, and it will be the first game with Ja Morant. So let's get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down tonight's game between the Grizzlies and the Pelicans.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
You ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We got it at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we got it. Shop online anytime at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062303 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU 001136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. We talked a lot of Tigers with Dave Woloshin in our last segment, but now we got to talk Grizzlies. They're in action tonight, a TNT game, 6:30 tip against the Pelicans. The return of Ja Morant. Because it's a TNT game, we won't have our Bally's crew tonight. We'll get them back on Thursday.
They're there because they were on the road last night.
Right, but they will not be broadcasting.
Be safe
tonight.
in New Orleans with no work assignment.
For real. But tonight's game against the Pelicans, obviously Ja Morant will block out the sun tonight in that game for good reason.
What kind of ovations he get in that house? We know what he's getting Thursday night. What's he getting in New Orleans?
I'm sure he gets jeered a little bit. I mean,
he gonna get some booze. He gonna get a lot of booze. I think.
Okay, because he's got on the other team's uniform, or the transgression.
I say more of the uniform, not the transgression.
I think so as well.
Because this isn't Draymond. Mm-hmm. And he's not coming back from injury, so it wouldn't be any sympathetic cheers. And what he did only hurt himself and his team.
Right. Didn't hurt anybody else.
I mean, New Orleans may not be in the position they are in the standings if he didn't get in trouble.
That is true, Brett. That is true.
Give him a standing ovation. I mean,
they're not. I don't blame them, but I don't think it should be over the top.
No, not at all. But
and we know what Thursday night's going to be like.
Thursday is going to be huge.
That's what home fans do.
Right. And it's going to be fun to see, and you know. But tonight is going to be interesting. But outside of Ja Morant, what do you expect tonight? You've mentioned earlier, and we've talked a lot throughout this kind of 25 games of, you know, the effort hasn't been there. Does that improve with Ja Morant back on the court?
I think it will. It will. It almost will have to. It has been lacking.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these losses, again, I wouldn't turn many of these 19 into wins. There are very few you could do that for.
Yeah.
Almost fortunate to get the 6 they've gotten.
Yeah. They really are. I mean, like you said earlier.
And that wasn't all on Ja.
No.
Steven Adams' injury is big.
It's huge. But no, you said it earlier. I mean, you could
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, huge.
And I think he's back in tonight, isn't he?
That'd be good that'd be nice if he is. I'm not positive, but you said it earlier. I think you can turn more of their wins into losses than you can turn their losses into wins.
And it starts tonight and it's got to get acclimated back to being in that routine, and you don't simulate that in practice.
Right. No, Marcus Smart still out tonight.
Still out. Okay.
Against the Pelicans. The whole status report tonight: Steven Adams out, Brandon Clark out, Gigi Jackson out, Luke Kennard out, Jake LaRavia out, D Rose out, Marcus Smart out. So still a lot of injuries for this team.
Zion out.
Questionable. I haven't seen any update outside of him just being questionable, so it sounds like it's probably going to be a game-time decision. He is sick. It sounds like COVID maybe is what I saw reported.
That's still a thing?
I just told Brian
that. Same exact thing during the break when I told him. I
think I had COVID.
Maybe.
Didn't lose taste, didn't lose smell.
No.
Felt like hell. Didn't mean to rhyme there either.
Good looking poet and didn't even know it. 4 hours ago, Pelicans PR, Zion Williamson. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been reporting inaccurately because I just quickly looked. Zion Williamson, non-COVID illness, because now you got to clarify.
Yeah.
Non-COVID illness is questionable.
I didn't know that was still a thing. We had to clarify.
Sure did.
Me either, Brett.
You always got to clarify just to make sure. But it's going to be a fun game tonight, like I said.
I'm not ever going to say never, but boy, if I hear anything about a mask.
Well, yeah, don't say never. But it's going to be a lot of fun tonight in New Orleans. 6:30, that tip-off tonight on TNT. But let's go ahead and get to a break, wrap up this first hour. When we come back, we're talking college football with Brent Beard.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
All 650 acquisition fees, Sportage R723 5498, MSRP 28940, Sorrento PG 424,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Are you wearing a hat that says meat?
Yep, it's the final piece of my collection.
Your collection of meat hats?
My collection of Central Barbecue merchandise.
Oh, okay, I've noticed you have a few Central Barbecue t-shirts.
A few. I've got a lot of Central Barbecue t-shirts. In fact, I have them all.
How many are there?
Well, let's see. There's 11 of the basic t-shirts.
11?
And like all other cool Central Barbecue merch, they're available at eatcbq.com.
Did you just use the word merch in conversation?
Not just any merch. CBQ merch. Hats, t-shirts, cups, even kids and baby clothes for when the little me comes along. That kid's going to love Central Barbecue because they have such great
merch.
Ribs.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We've seen a couple of wrecks out here the last few minutes. We did have an earlier wreck on 40 East coming over from West Memphis. It's had traffic slower than normal coming over from Crittenden County. It jammed up traffic also on 55 southbound, which is already handicapped and slow because of that road construction. Again, still heavy on 40 East coming over from West Memphis and 55 south across the bridge. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your last-minute Christmas shopping headquarters. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville to talk some college football. Brent, thanks so much. We don't have Brent yet. We must have lost him. We'll get him in just a second. A lot to talk to with Brent, though. And Brett, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about. I know Johnny Radio has spent a lot of time earlier this week talking about it. Me and him were talking about it. But and I'm curious to get Brent's thoughts when we get him on. The job Lane Kiffin has done to start the transfer portal cycle has been really impressive. And you know, right now, 247, he's number 1 in the country. I think on 3 and Rivals, he's number 2 right now. Really doing a good job to get ready for next season.
Really has scoured the country and had a really good plan. That analyst room, that prospect room, how hard they work. And remember, Lane Kiffin at the very beginning of all this, he had his reservations about it, but he made it clear, this is the hand I'm being dealt. I'm going to play by it.
Yeah.
I think in his heart of hearts, he would prefer old way, 2005, 2010 college football world. That's gone and gone forever.
But he's
good at it. He's adapted to this, and today rewarded with a new contract. Now, often at Ole Miss, whatever coach, because of the state law of max 4 years,
right?
That's always kind of assumed that it'll just get rolled over. And there's a few things they can do with it to not dodge, but get a little bit around the law through the foundation and things. But well deserved, 33-15, and the potential of winning 11th game in the bowl game against mighty Penn State.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have Brent Beard now on the line with us. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. We were just talking about what Lane Kiffin has done to start the transfer portal cycle. What have you made of the job he's done? I know 247 right now. Ole Miss has the number 1 transfer portal class in the country.
And he's going to have a good high school day tomorrow.
Yeah, he really is.
I think the thing that impressed me as much as anything was just getting these kids to come back.
That's better than any player he could sign.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it, because there's no guesswork with the kids who are coming back, is it? You know what you've got, and listen, when you get your quarterback and hopefully one of the best running backs in the league, and Trey Harris and
Prescorn.
Yep, among others.
Offensive linemen, some secondary guys.
So they are I mean, it's obvious they're building for
the playoffs next year.
The playoffs, and they know that they've got a real shot at being in them by doing what they're doing. That's what makes it important.
And Brent, we were talking about it yesterday with David Cobb from CBS, who covers college football and college basketball there, and it will make. I think not just because my team, not just because Ole Miss is going to be very prominent in summertime conversation next year. Even without that, I think it makes for the best lead-up, run-up next year for us that we love it, and we talk a lot about it. Our audience loves it. You can look at ratings and tell that it's a college football world out here. We're going to have the best run-up to college football talk because we're not just going to be talking – who wins the East and the West in the SEC. Mm-hmm. That's over. It's going to be some conversation about who comes in 13, 14, 15, and 16, and you don't want to be there. But also the 12 teams, how many teams can really be going into next year with those thoughts? And I'll say it now, barring catastrophic injuries, I think next year would be disappointing if Ole Miss didn't make the playoffs.
No question. I mean, all the publicity that they will get in the magazines, they'll be in the top 10, and in the playoffs that people will have marked out. We were thinking about this the other day. If we have the playoffs this year, Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, and Ole Miss would the league have had 4, and will the league have a third of the playoffs
in Texas next year?
Yes, in the next few years. That's going to be fascinating to see because it will be SEC heavy. My Stars guys, that may be a year to where as good as this league is. Could the league get 5 or 6 teams in?
Well, and if it deserves it, they should. And I'll say that about any other league. If it's Big Ten, if they deserve it, I don't think it should be slotted. I don't think it should be a fixed number. And now next year we are going to accommodate conference champions, but that's the only year that's guaranteed in the new deal. I think they're going to try to do something going forward. And Brandon, we don't disagree on a lot. But I want 12 at larges. I don't want a designated conference spot because it might be a year that the SEC didn't deserve it. I don't think it'll be many of those, but it could be. It was close this year with just 4. I would like to see 12 at larges and it be 5 versus 12, and we're going to go to 16 quickly. But in that first round of games, when you'll have 4 games on campus sites.
Well. And look, I really don't have a lot of disagreement with that, frankly. But the pushback from the ADs and the coaches, and I get this, would be, okay, we're a conference champion. Shouldn't a conference champion be allowed to have a reserve spot? But
and we told the conference champion this year that it wasn't good enough. I disagreed with that, but they told FSU, you're conference champs, you're undefeated, it's not good enough.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately they were hit with what we thought was coming over the last few years, and it finally did. But at the same time, and look, the thing. And I think that's part of the reasons that we've gotten rid of divisions is not too long ago you could have had, and we did have a undefeated Georgia and a multiple loss LSU. What if LSU would have won that game?
Yeah, we go back to the very first one that Gene Stallings was scared to death of in Birmingham because that day all Florida was doing was playing spoiler.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And listen, if not for Antonio Langham, it would have worked.
It sure would have, and that would have almost derailed it out of the gate. Going to the divisions that Roy Kramer went to in 1992, and then found the loophole to have the championship game. Are championship games going to last?
Yes, simply because he said, without trying to sound cynical, there's too much money in it. I don't.
But it's not the line item it once was. I mean, it
No,
was
it's
big
not.
in '92.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. I agree with that totally. It was new, and it was big, and it was important, and it was gargantuan at that point. But I just don't, guys. I just don't see with what that thing brings in, particularly with like the SEC. We would never hear Sankey say that, would we? As far as we need to put the game on mothballs and just come up with something else. I don't think that ever happened from him.
And I do think being the champion of a conference that it matters, but it's not going to matter next year. I almost don't want Ole Miss in that rough a game and just get in the playoffs, be the 5, 6, 7 seed, host in Oxford, and let them sort it out down in Atlanta. Knock yourself out.
Look, we'll end up coming up with this a lot next year, but there's already talk about, well, should you you might be better off if you're number 5, you get to play number 12 at home, and then that would give you a little bit of momentum. So we may see more of, well, would you be better at 5, 6, or 7? Almost, and although you get a bye if you were 1, 2, or 3.
That's a good point, because 1 through 4, they will be sitting and waiting the traditional conference championship weekend time all the way to January 1st. Last weekend, I think next year it's Saturday, December 20th. That's the day 5 and 12, 6 and 11, 7, 10, and 8 and 9 will play. They will be a little fresher and game ready in the whole rest versus rust stuff. Now, rest will matter.
Tell me if I saw this wrong, but I think in that first weekend we've got a Friday night game,
Really?
and then we've got 3 on Saturday.
Brent, we do. We have Friday night prime time, and then kind of 11-ish, 3-ish, 7-ish on Saturday.
Interesting.
I'm being facetious here, but you'll get this. Can the SEC let down its Friday night snobbery a little bit and be okay about having a Friday night game?
School will be out. Hey, I take the Clemson Tigers as the 11 seed against 6 Ole Miss on Friday night in Oxford right now.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if the chancellor really agrees with that.
Without
he's got a school
even
to
thinking
run.
about it. Look, it's like Bobby Bowden said that if they want me to play at 12, I don't care if it's midnight or noon. So that really ought to be the attitude, man. If you're in the playoffs, you don't care where it's going to be. But one thing I don't think we had a chance to talk about last week that I thought was a mammoth is every team having 2 byes. Yeah. Now, I know the players necessarily don't like it. I heard that from a former player a couple of days ago who said, well, I didn't like it because we were virtually bored on an off week. But guys, look, when you play in the SEC, man, they crawl on fumes to that bye week. So I think it would make a major difference in some of these teams if they had a bye week in order to get rest and get healed.
And Bama will have byes before Georgia and LSU.
Yep.
Wow.
That's right.
How about that? It sets up very nicely for them. Talking to Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. Brent, what did you make of the news yesterday? Carson Beck will return for his senior season at Georgia, and as a result of that, top prospect Dylan Raiola, top recruit I should say, has flipped his commitment from Georgia to Nebraska. Yeah,
and that was a big surprise. Now, obviously, his father has ties to Nebraska. I mean, that's a big get, frankly, because Georgia fans really loved Raiola and the potential there that he showed. But at the same time, and maybe this is the beginning of Matt Rule turning that thing around, but Carson Beck needs another year. I know he's been in the program for a long time, but he's only been a starter for 1 year, and he needs to be able to improve. And frankly, Stetson Bennett, in his second year as being a starter, showed some real improvement. So that they need that. We've seen and heard all this. Carson Beck, the rumor being, are they going to, that they'd have to pay him $4 million for him to come back? Good gracious alive. Give me a break. You've got, you need that experience to come back again. I think that's a positive thing for him in Georgia.
9 SEC bowl games, not against the point spread. Just what do you think is the record for the SEC in those 9 bowl games?
I think it's probably either going to be 6-3 or 5-4.
That's what we had yesterday. I said 6-3. Bryant said 5-4.
I just don't. Aren't we always going to have a situation? Now, look, this is like Georgia and FSU. Who really wants to win? Who wants to play because of the attrition and opt-outs and so forth? So that's as much of it, I believe, as anything else. And then you've got a team like Ole Miss who basically is going for a record year. So no wonder they would be excited for that. So
I call it the motivation of there are some teams of let's get this over with. Yeah. And then there are other teams that use it 2024 starts now.
Yeah. Well,
this is opening day of 2024.
And that's the best way of looking at it. Now, you know that they may not play like it, but you know that Kirby is not going to let them ignore that game. It's just too much in his DNA to win every game. But that, look, it is and for some of these teams, the attitude needs to be, okay, we don't have all the players we need, but we're giving these guys a shot to see what they're going to be like in 2024 and just to see how they would react to it. So it really depends on how you look at it and what your attitude is.
Absolutely. Well, with the transfer portal going on, I know quarterbacks is the hot topic with a lot of really good quarterbacks in the transfer portal. But I saw earlier today KJ Jefferson, he's now in the portal. A lot of people talking about where he could land. I've seen a handful of schools, but Miami was one that kind of stuck out to me. I know last week the big conversation around Miami was Cam Ward down there visiting. He also visited Florida State. When you look at KJ Jefferson, got injured in that last game, really dealt with injuries all season long. What are some teams that you think could be at the top of this list, a place that he could land?
Well, Miami certainly would be one of them. I know Florida State needs a quarterback, and DJ Uiagalelei visited there this weekend. Yeah. I like Jefferson. I mean, at 6'3", 245. Does he need to lose a little weight? Will that help him? I'm just wondering out loud. But
he's taken so many hits. I've almost thought he needed that extra poundage to endure that. I would love to see him really ripped. Remember, he shredded his knee early in that Mizzou game. So now you're going to get him post rehab from that, and if he's not careful, he could really get big in rehab.
Well, he is 6'3", 245 now. To Brett's point, Brian,
he could get real big.
Brett, could he be 260 when he steps on the field again?
I'm afraid so. And then you got a lot of work to get him in shape, and then you're worried about what it does to lower extremities, ankles, knees, things like that. And I think he will end up with Kendall Briles at TCU, his former offensive coordinator at Arkansas. And that whole saga, whenever the end is written about Sam Pittman, that kind of gumption contest last year when Briles was negotiating to try to get a better deal out of Arkansas, and Pittman told him, you better take it because you're done here. That hurt Arkansas.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, no doubt about it. And they need a much better year. And I tell you, there are a couple of guys. Jefferson's one of them, and the other one's Will Rogers. I hope those guys can end well. That would certainly mean a lot for them in order to do that. But look, and again, Brian mentioned Miami. Look, Miami needs something positive to happen too. I know there's been a lot of microscopes and magnifying glasses on the Florida program, and I get that. But look, Miami's got as much problem as Florida does. And they don't know. At least Florida knows who their quarterback's going to be. Tyler Van Dyke's gone. I mean, they've got some good talent who are younger guys. But Miami's got a lot of work, and as you guys know, Miami and Florida start the season next year, which will certainly be interesting. So, as Brian said, still a lot of questions for these quarterbacks and where they're going.
Brent, I know you're friends with, and when you can, you almost always attend the Gator Bowl there in Jacksonville. How are ticket sales for it? Because they're, according to the University of Memphis athletics director here, they are slow on the Memphis Tigers side here for the Liberty Bowl. And I'm afraid that tier of bowl games, Liberty, Gator, Tampa, Music City, Charlotte, Dukes Mayo, I think those after Christmas bowls that aren't in the playoff mix and won't be going forward, even if they incorporated those 4 games into bowls, and they may very well do that. They may try this campus thing and then go, we're leaving a lot of money on the table by incorporating, because I think if they got incorporated, Orlando would be in the mix first, maybe Houston, maybe even the goofy L.A. Bowl, because where it is in the stadium that it's played in and the geography. I think those bowl games that have contributed a lot to college football, the Sun Bowl, I think they're in trouble, Brent.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like that, but that's very possible. And ticket sales are okay. Now, Clemson's going to travel. I don't have any doubt about that. And they finished the season with more of an uptick. Kentucky was they were okay. Frankly, that's going to be interesting to see with Vandergriff how they do too. But Brent's on to something there, and the reality is going to be is how. I mean, that would be the answer to it if they could. If they could rotate, Brett, if they could rotate.
I agree.
What? I don't know. Five of them,
80
6 of them.
Bring in Alamo.
Yes, and give them a playoff game
every so often.
Every 3 to 5 every 3 to 5 years. Would that be enough to keep them afloat?
It could be, and I've long advocated this, and I think somebody will have to try it. Out of all these bowl games, somebody's gonna try it. Maybe like in Houston at the Texas Bowl, where I was last year. Wonderful people, treated very well. Have your bowl game opening weekend instead of having those neutral games. Just dressed it up as the Texas Bowl.
Yeah. Well, look, that would put a lot of meaning in bowls. And there would be no excuse not to be excited about playing because it'd be the initial game of the year. I really do wonder, Brent and Brian, if we don't get to that. If we're at the point to where we've got the half a dozen bowls that you mentioned that either have got to do something innovative or they're going to be gone with the others. I get a little publication on the back of it. It had all the defunct bowl games.
Yeah,
my Lord, there must have been 50 names on that thing.
I used to have fun. Google killed trivia on Sports Talk Radio.
Yeah,
and I used to have fun with it. Was this ever a real bowl or not?
Yeah.
And one time I went with nothing but real, like the Salad Bowl, the Oil Bowl, the Seattle Bowl, the Gotham Bowl. That's all been played. I think Tennessee went to a bowl game in New Jersey one time.
The
Garden State Bowl. I know they did.
Oh yeah, in that infamous Poulin Weed Eater Bowl.
Brent, we remember when, and this is really funny with how this whole industry went. When Wayne Huizenga owned the Miami Dolphins, and he owned Blockbuster Video. Try finding a Blockbuster these days.
Yeah, really.
And he was going to get in the bowl business, and in a big way offered huge money. And Brent had Colorado and Bama in his inaugural game.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I remember that one well. And Brian, you missed this. Brett and I didn't. But one of the more amusing things that you could ever see toward the end of the season in the press box was, and I remember it particularly because of the Orange Bowl. You had what, Brad?
The Blazers.
3 or 4 representatives in those bright orange jackets.
Or yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Listen, you could put those jackets on the front of your car going home tonight, and you wouldn't need to turn the lights on.
You could go deer hunting in them.
Good Lord.
They were bright. And one thing the Liberty Bowl always did well, just wear a blue blazer, and they had a kind of a lapel patch that they would wear that signified they were the Bowls instead of those garish blazers.
Yes, yes.
Independence Bowl had bright red, remember?
Ooh. Stylish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The Independence Bowl did a lot of things right to have no stadium to play that game in.
Listen, if people have never been there, I remember when I went to graduate school out in Fort Worth, Texas, a lifetime ago, and you remember this, Brett? You could pass on the interstate, and if you roll down the window and spit your gum out, it would probably hit somewhere in the state.
Midfield.
It was that close.
Really
Am I right?
Yeah.
It was that close to the interstate to the state.
I've told the story a bunch lately. Had Bryant rolling about it. I almost drowned at the 83 Independence Bowl. It rained so hard.
Oh, I believe it.
Ole Miss and Air Force.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lord, I know that. And, the drainage there, shall we say, was lacking.
Very. and that night, a parachutist was going to bring the ball for opening kickoff. We ain't seen him since.
Oh, geez.
I mean, he got caught up in the wind, and I don't think it ended well.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think he ended up in another country or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man, a gust of wind got him. That's no good.
I've stayed in the worst hotel room I've ever stayed in my life. That night of the game in Shreveport. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was really shaky.
We're just glad you're still here today because of that.
Good Lord.
Well, it rained too hard to have too bad of behavior.
Yeah, really.
Oh, man. Well, Brent, we got a handful of bowl games before we talk to you next week, so it'll be a lot of fun watching all these. We got a handful of ACC teams playing in bowl games before we talk to you next. So it'll be a lot of fun, but we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Merry Christmas.
Well,
Merry Christmas.
Listen, guys, Merry Christmas. Appreciate y'all greatly. Got a lot of family coming in next week, as you can imagine. But listen, I will watch all these bowl games. We've got the one on tonight at 9:00, and I don't care. I mean, Brett will be snoring
I won't see final.
No, but by the third quarter, Bryant. But the reality is, this is silly, but I mean it. There's something comforting, virtually, about being able to sit down at the end of the day and watch bowl games.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you.
Nice way to end the day.
You too, guys. Take
Thank
care,
you,
okay?
Brent. You got it.
Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville joins us every single Tuesday to talk.
We got to pick a bowl.
Football. We do got to pick a bowl.
Carve out some time.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Blew it on the schedule.
I don't know. Maybe we can rope it in.
Can you believe I did that?
I really can't. But it's an 8 p.m.
I'll say it again.
Bowl.
I'm embarrassed over it.
I mean, Brad, it's an 8 p.m. bowl. What is it?
I
The
know,
Scooters Coffee Classic Bowl. I mean, who even knows what the name of it is? And
Frisco Bowl.
But it's like the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. I mean, we gotta get the corporate sponsor in there, Brett.
Get 'em in.
Speaking of bowl games, we were watching the Western Kentucky game last night, and we missed after the game. They celebrated with toast, Brett. And
that
they
his
were
name?
doing toast. No. Real, actual toast.
Oh, okay.
And they were throwing toast in the air.
What about the mascot?
Doing toast angels? No update on the mascot, who was showing his face.
He's not with the parachutist
Cardinal
in
Sin.
Shreveport, is he?
No, I don't believe so. But yeah, we'll have to carve out some time to make a pick for tonight's game. But we got to get to a break right now. We're late for one. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about tonight's game at FedEx Forum, Tigers versus Virginia. We'll also have to make picks there. Tiger Bankroll coming on the other side.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and because we have a short show today, only about an hour left for us today, but we got to talk about the Tigers and Virginia. And Brett, we do have some breaking news. We talked to Dave earlier today about Naquan Tomlin. Would he, he was in the building on Saturday. Would he be on the bench? What would happen? It's being reported by Jason Munz, and it was made official by the Tigers. He is officially signed, and Jason Munz even posted a video of him getting some work on the court pregame. He will not play tonight versus Virginia, but he will be on the bench with the team. So that's
maybe some run Saturday against Vandy, and then against Austin Peay in time for the start of conference play. And the schedule breaking so perfectly, and made even better by the winning.
Yeah.
that you can really have a nice acclimation, integration of him with his team in that conference period. That I'm not going to say easy, but easier than Non's been.
Sure, easier schedule, and I think certainly having. When you look back and you say
there's going to be some road tough spots,
and that's college basketball. I mean,
that's the way of the world.
We said it with Dave. That's college basketball. It's hard to win road conference games, especially when how the schedule sets up, where you're playing a Thursday night and then a Sunday and then a Tuesday and then a Saturday.
Somebody makes 9 threes, you're in trouble.
Exactly, and so it's going to happen. But I think the fact that you can look at the schedule, you add him in the middle of playing back-to-back top 25 teams, but then can say, okay, before we even start conference play, you have Vanderbilt and Austin Peay where you can really get them some run, let them get comfortable before conference play
I've been
starts.
consistent about it. What part of player liberation and freedom do people not get? I like it for him. He was going to be boxed out his final year of college basketball, kind of old way. I know there's some blowback out there about Ole Miss and what they're doing in the portal. Look, everybody's adjusting to it.
Sure.
If you're resistant to it, you will get bulldozed.
Yeah. No, you absolutely will. And so, I mean, you're seeing the coaches that are accepting it, and
Eli Drinkwitz accepting it.
Drinkwitz,
they're mopping up it. They're not far from where Ole Miss, where they are.
Yeah, and so I think, you see the coaches in both college basketball and college football, the coaches that are, in favor of it or can at least get behind it enough to go out and make a splash are making the splashes. The coaches in both college basketball and college football that are against it are not making those splashes.
And I know a lot of places are going, well, you're wasting money. Well, if you win, you don't.
Yeah.
You can't spend enough to win.
No, and especially in college football with the expanded playoffs. I mean, it's huge.
There was an old saying used to about coaches, and now you could say this about portal players. $1 for a bad one is too much.
Right.
If you win 10, 11 games, you get to the playoffs, that money's going to roll in.
Yes.
I know Ole Miss is having a function one of the nights in Atlanta at the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
And I've kind of jokingly called it Pass the Hat night.
I love it. I mean, yeah.
And send the collection plate around twice. That's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. I like it, Brett. That's what it sounds like.
That's where we are, and we're gonna start getting more comfortable with these terms, whether it's college basketball and the Tigers locally, or college football and the Tigers locally, or in the SEC. We're going to start getting firm numbers on payroll.
Yeah. No, we are. And it's going to be weird.
I was told last year A&M in football spent $7.2 million.
Wow.
You think they got their value? What did it buy them?
It didn't buy them money. It bought their coach getting fired.
And there were a lot of places that spent less, like Ole Miss and Mizzou, that got a lot more.
Got a lot more in return. Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be weird. And I've heard some people talking about. I can't remember. This might have been on ESPN the other day, and they were talking about Lane Kiffin and how he's gone out and gotten the number one receiver and this and that, and in the mix for Walter Nolan and who I'm guessing is, if not number one, certainly
news should be breaking soon.
Okay, but they were saying when not just about Ole Miss, but when you look at teams that maybe don't have the budgets that some of these other teams have, and you can't top four maybe is somewhat of a long shot. Now that it's a 12-team playoff, there are a lot of places like Ole Miss that are going out there and said, look, if we can get enough NIL money to bring in these players, we have a great shot at making. And Brett, you said it earlier, it would almost be a disappointment at this point if Ole Miss didn't make the college football playoffs.
And there's some uncomfortability about a lot of it with me.
Sure.
Frankly, I don't know the team as well as I felt like I used to, like in July or August.
Sure.
I do by opening day, but it still takes some getting used to going to practice.
It's different.
August practice is big now to really to know who
shake
everybody
hands
to know who they are.
Yeah,
and they don't give a darn who I am, but I need to know who they are. But I know this. Okay, so I don't know who they really are on September 1st like I used to.
Yeah,
I'd sure rather win.
And winning, you'll learn the players. If they're winning, you'll be super invested as a fan, and you'll learn who the players
I learned who
are.
Trey Harris was really well opening day.
Very quickly.
4 touchdown catches.
Very quickly, you learned who he was. So, no, it's different.
I've been meaning to ask you this. How hard?
Okay.
I'm serious, and I don't mean this at all disrespectfully to the Smith family.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have the $50 million for the stadium or $50 million in NIL?
I think I'd rather have $50 million in NIL.
I had to. Let city government sort out the stadium.
Yeah, let the chips fall where they may. But
and that might be in the great Richard Smith interview with Dave when he said future hits on the way.
No, he was alluding to other things, bigger and better things.
No, I don't know if it's going to be that number or if it's going to be exactly for that, but I don't think their contributions to Tigers athletics will just end with that $50 million.
I don't think so. But it's certainly interesting. I mean, the college athletics is certainly changing, but Naquan Tomlin...
I would have never believed we'd be having these conversations. I wouldn't have believed it, never mind when I first started.
Right.
I wouldn't have believed it 6 years ago.
No.
I mean, pre-COVID, 2018, 2019.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have either, but we're here now, and it's a different world.
We are, and I don't mind these guys getting theirs.
I don't either.
And I don't mind the kind of the randomness of playing here and then playing there, because the coaches did it for so long.
Bingo. Coaches can do it. Why not the players? And that's an argument that
administrators
I've heard a lot,
I could leave for the next AD job.
Sure, absolutely. So, it's a good argument, and it makes sense. I mentioned earlier we have a new bracket out from Joey Brackets. Joe Lunardi over at ESPN. His updated bracket that was updated earlier this morning, 8:45 Eastern Time, has Memphis as a 5 seed playing Indiana State in Spokane.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door. I'll just tell you now.
Larry Bird is not walking through that door. Now, Indiana State has a player that a lot of people have found intriguing.
But he ain't Larry Bird.
He is certainly not Larry Bird. But a 5 seed, and that makes tonight's game a big seeding game again.
It does, because I think you want to get one better than that.
You do.
And there's a chance, I think, with the Tigers winning tonight, defeating Vandy and Austin Peay, and then going on that 16-2, 17-1 clip, and they can.
They can.
I'm not saying they have to, but then you're into three seed.
Yeah.
That will be a big driving emphasis on these airwaves and around town of night in, night out. You know the outcome, but the Tigers are going to have to look good against a lot of teams and pound them because the net likes you winning by a big margin.
Well, Brett, as we do when we look at Joe Lunardi's brackets, we love to look at who he has playing in Memphis. And
has he heard of the pod system?
You're not going to like it.
I saw it.
You saw it.
Yeah.
Virginia, New Mexico. I actually found it because I was looking for Virginia.
So we'd get Virginia back.
We get Virginia
I
back.
think we get Clemson back, don't we?
Illinois and Colgate is the rest in that bracket. Let's go down to the other. No, he has Clemson and Charlotte.
Okay.
San Diego State, Florida, and Oklahoma, Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, you got to send you can't send Memphis here. Not only that, Memphis can't even play on the day that Memphis will be hosting. The Tigers can't play on the day that Memphis hosts.
Right.
So Tigers will play Thursday, Saturday. That first weekend is we're Friday, Sunday downtown at FedEx Forum. You got to send Tennessee or even Ole Miss.
I mean, where did he have? What did you see?
8-9 game.
8-9 in Brooklyn. So maybe if
I
they
don't know that you would reward somebody in an 8-9 game with that cozy of a pod, though.
Right. Well, maybe if they can,
But the pod was created to sell tickets.
And if Ole Miss, surprise some people in conference play, win a couple, maybe they can move up to that 7 line and be right there in the mix for a Memphis spot. But
Tiger bankroll tonight,
Let's
3.5 downtown at FedEx Forum against UVA. We're not long from tip.
No,
we're getting really close.
We're getting really close.
Can't wait for that game tonight. I'm sorry I can't go. We've got plans, though. Look out. We're going to be out on the streets, dragging them
out
all
on
night.
the town.
No curfew for us tonight, Johnny.
Right.
No curfew. Up all night.
Y'all may have to drive me home. Too many Coca-Colas.
That's right.
I'm going to take the Tigers and lay the 3.5. $50.
Johnny.
I'm taking the Tigers for $25. I got to play it safe.
Brett, I'm going to pull a U on this one. I'm going to take the Tigers to win the game, but I'm going to take Virginia to cover the 3.5. I'll take him for 125. How about that?
Okay, you feeling good.
No, I'm not.
You're at 100.
I'm
or
just
you're at 1,000.
in a weird place right now.
That would drop you to 875.
Ooh, I'd be in the red after that.
Yeah.
I'm already in the red.
Brett, that's why we play the game.
You got to cut it close. All right, we want to pick that bowl game?
Yeah, let's pick that bowl game real quick.
8.5, Texas San Antonio tonight in whatever that name is.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with UTSA in this one tonight.
I am too.
It sounds like here we go. Pete Thamel just tweeted 5 minutes ago. Sources: UTSA star quarterback Frank Harris is considered unlikely to play against Marshall in the Frisco Bowl tonight. A final decision isn't expected until after warmups, but he's dealt with a multitude of injuries this year. There's still a chance.
Vegas knows.
I'll take UTSA either way.
Vegas got better info than Pete Thamel has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or that spread doesn't drop 4.5 points.
Absolutely not.
I take Texas San Antonio. We're both 3-4. Johnny, you're 5-2.
Look at Johnny.
Hey, I'm feeling good, man.
What do you like tonight?
Ooh,
Marshall or UTSA?
I had to go with UTSA.
All right.
UTSA.
Group lock. How about that? I'm kind of surprised we got a group lock with that sort of news coming out.
1-1 so far in group locks.
Okay, let's make that 2-1 tonight.
No, I'm sorry, 2-1.
Let's make it 3-1 tonight.
3-1.
How about that? That would be a good start to the bowl season.
Or a prime go against for a listener.
It really could. I mean, honestly, this seems like maybe a prime spot to go against us, and I would not blame anybody if they did that. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
All 650 acquisition fee. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit dealers.com.
Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month. All 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. Schedule your holiday gift deliveries today at hogsfly.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
My big number today, is 2. Small number for a Tuesday. Last night, Drew Lock, what a performance he had. What a game. He got the ball down 4 points, or down 4+ points with under 2 minutes left. He led his team on a game-winning 90+ yard touchdown drive and capped it off with a 25+ yard touchdown pass. And he did all of that
throw
under a minute. And
how do you let a guy get behind you?
Oh, man, that catch by Jackson Smith and Jigba was unbelievable. But doing all of that, getting the ball with 2 minutes or less, that's where the 2 comes in. Going on a 90+ yard touchdown drive and then finishing it off with a 25+ yard touchdown pass. The last NFL quarterback to do that was Brett Favre on September 20th, 1992.
I love it, Brian.
His first year with the Packers.
The last game he ever came off the bench.
His first year with the Packers.
How about that? That's
Brian,
great.
Amazing journalism, man.
Really is.
I love it.
Capital
I love
J
it.
journalism.
Very
That's
good.
what I'm here for. Even though I mistakenly said Zion had COVID earlier when it literally said non-COVID illness, but I'm still.
We all make mistakes.
And just mentioned Drew Lock in the same sentence with Brett Favre.
How about that? Who else is doing that today?
How many people get that?
That's
My
right.
big number is 130.5.
Okay.
Ooh, decimal.
130.5. That's the over and under tonight for the Memphis-Virginia basketball game. For Memphis to win, it must go over.
Yes.
I don't think they can win with the game falling under. 65-64, I think would be in Virginia's favor. Anything with the first number 7 for Memphis, I think they win the game. I think they win the game 73-68.
Okay.
Brett, another great number, but man, I gotta give it to Brian. I got to give it to Brian.
The Brett Favre reference.
And you called it earlier. Johnny just doesn't like decimal.
No, he doesn't. Johnny is very anti-decimal points. He really is.
So,
I tried to curry favor with the jury.
You did.
And it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It did not.
It's okay. It happens. It happens.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's still a great number.
Never have another decimal point.
It's still a great number, but
I mean, how could you?
Hey, when Brian said Brett Favre did he went all the way back to 92? I like, oh my goodness.
What can I say? I mean,
that was after he came to the Packers from the Falcons.
It was
first year.
It was first year. So a big. I mean, that game last night was Brett, I mean, when we talked about the game at 5:30, it played out exactly
I said 22-20.
like I thought. Yeah, I mean, it played out exactly like we thought it would. I didn't think that the Seahawks would win the game, but here we are.
Jalen Hurts is hurting. He's not right.
No, he's not right.
And the Eagles are picking the worst time of the year to kind of have this swoon.
Yeah, and maybe we saw the 49ers, have that kind of spell earlier in the season where they
had time to get it out of their system.
That's a good point. And they were all injured, banged up during that. So no, it's not a good
Cowboys fans, us Cowboys fans had to love the Eagles losing.
No, Brett, we partied last night because of that.
Now, I was told the tiebreaker, if Cowboys win out, Eagles win out. Right. Eagles win.
That's right.
And it gets down to the 6th tiebreaker, that it's very complicated.
Well, I don't want to have to be the one that looks
I don't
into
want to decipher all that.
Because
just help me.
Just tell me who's doing what, and I'll say whatever. But I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys. I'm excited to talk to Bo in our next segment about the Cowboys because I'm hoping he can give me a positive outlook on the Cowboys because he has been so high on the Bills, and now it seems like everyone else is catching up to him on this Bills team could be legit.
I don't know that the Bills will do enough consistently.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but they've looked good.
Are they even in the playoff picture?
Not right now.
No, I don't think so.
Not right now. They would have. But I think John was telling me earlier. I mean, there's a easy way if they win these games and somebody loses these games that they could be number 1 or something like that.
9 seed right now.
Wow. So it's going to be.
I counted up 16 games this weekend. Okay. 7 super premier matchups that really have big stakes for both sides. 5 pretty good.
Okay.
4 throwaway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But 12 out of 16.
No, that's really good. That's really good. And it's going to be a fun week. I mean, you look at that schedule for the weekend.
For week 16.
Now, Brett, I got some bad news for you. One of the games this weekend is a Peacock-only game.
Oh, I saw it. I saw that.
We already had to deal with Prime. Now we got to deal with Peacock.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Bills Chargers.
Well, we can do it without Bills Chargers. So no, it's going to be a really fun weekend. The Christmas night game that we have, what is it, Ravens 49ers this weekend?
Great Christmas lineup. And,
really
a lot of times when Christmas falls on a Tuesday and Wednesday, it's a little barren for sports.
Yes, but no, a really good slate of games this weekend, especially on Christmas Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mix the NFL
and
with
the
NBA. I mean, it's going to be a heck of a Christmas.
Next year, Christmas will be on Wednesday, so that'll be all NBA.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of NBA next week. But let's go ahead and get to a break because when we come back to start our third and final hour, we're going to continue this NFL conversation with Bo Marchant.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis Way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis Way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. Be sure to schedule your delivery for the next game at hogsfly.com or come visit us in the alley.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV, Seat 7, 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P Forte RE 699,094 MSRP 21,385. Sorrento PG 242,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462 2822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024. Dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It remains pretty slow go on I-40 East coming over from West Memphis out of Crittenden County on 55 southbound there at the bridge as well. It all started earlier. We had a crash that's since been cleared on 40 East before the bridge. It just seems like it's never really recovered out here trying to get over from Crittenden County. It's just really heavy now on 240 East, let's say from Perkins to 385 as you get on to Billmore Parkway there. That looks like a clear shot at the moment out towards Collierville. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NFL. Bo, thanks so much for joining us. I want to start off with the game that we saw last night, Monday Night Football. What a thriller it was. We didn't know really either quarterback if they would play. We felt good about Jalen Hurts. Reports came out that Geno was out and was going to be active, but then we saw Drew Lock, and the drive that Drew Lock went on in the final 2 minutes of that game last night, the throw he made and the catch Jackson Smith and Jigba made in the end zone in the game winner for the Seahawks was incredible. I mean, that game was awesome last night.
It was awesome, and I'm not going to lie. So I'm sitting on the couch and watching the game, and Joe Buck says, 1st and 92, and then I don't remember a single thing.
That's right.
I wake up about 8 minutes later because they were interviewing Drew Lock.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
Wow. I missed something. So I rewound the game, and then I watched them drive down the field. They're 92 yards and make that connection. Yeah, and a great catch by the rookie. Big play. An incredible finish for Seattle to kind of keep their wild card hopes alive. And a disappointing loss for Philadelphia, 3 in a row. And we know they're struggling, just to kind of find that rhythm that they had, prior to this losing streak, and the rhythm that they had, going into the NFC Championship, which led to the Super Bowl they lost. But, still plenty of time. I mean, just because it's such a topsy-turvy league, it's not time to press the panic button by any means. But you definitely want to kind of rid yourself of whatever sickness they have before the playoffs start.
Yeah. Philadelphia back home last night, Philly time, 5 a.m.
I don't know, but that's at least it's the red eye, and you lost, so you're probably not really celebrating much. So it's just a
day off today.
And
put
your head.
And they play on Monday next week. But Joe Buck had another great nugget last night, and I started to use this on Big Number of the Day. Johnny, let's see if we had to go back, would I have salvaged the W today? He said last night the Eagles on the goal line play, on the tush push.
Don't forget my big number, Johnny. Don't let them.
They have scored 15 times this year with that.
Wow.
The rest of the league, 31 other teams, 13 times with the leader being 3.
Holy cow.
Well, that's incredible.
Brett, you would have won.
You
would have won, Brett.
Yes, Johnny,
you would have won if you would have had that number.
The stupid decimal point, didn't I?
Yes, the decimal point. That's what throws it off.
See what I deal with, Mo.
Whatever.
I like it. There's so much controversy with the play. And even when they talk about injuries, I'm not one to say that I've seen every tush push that's throughout the league every single weekend. But the injuries, I don't really see guys coming off the field for that particular play. It's just I like it because it is an unstoppable thing that they've crafted. Any other team can try to duplicate it. They just don't have the success. So I don't want to penalize Philadelphia for it.
It's like in baseball. Let's penalize that team that hits behind the runner.
Yeah, I like it, and I'm not gonna. Again, they can show me stats or statistics saying this is a play where guys get hurt. At least when I watch Philly, I don't remember a time where there was some serious injury where they were calling out the card. It's almost a subtle play in a weird way. It just kind of, they're just pushing, and
I think it's the ultimate football. Low man wins. It almost it almost replicates blocking sled technique.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you watch the blocking sled, that's what they're doing. If I was Kyle Shanahan or any one of these top teams in the NFC or any team really, I would be going out. Australian rules, rugby, whatever that is, I would be hiring and flying those guys to my facility, and I would teach the technique on how to stop that just for the day that when we meet the Philadelphia Eagles and they go and they plan on going it for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 1, anywhere basically they're going to go for it within that distance. And kind of stymie them and shut them down. But, again, it's a lot of controversy surrounding it. I don't find it criminal at all. I kind of enjoy it just because it's just there's very few things that you can see in sports where you're almost saying, well, this is a guarantee.
I was at a party last night with a lot of sports people, and when Joe Buck threw out that nugget, somebody said that's the nugget game note of the year.
Yeah, that is a fantastic nugget, we might not know the success rate of other teams, but we know when Philadelphia runs that particular play, the success rate.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, it's off the charts, and Jalen does. We know his, what he's able to squat and the power that he can do himself, and Kelsey gets a great push, and as you said, he gets low, and they get the defenders off the ball, and it's just that wave. It's just fun watching that wave of defenders just go in the opposite direction when they're trying their darndest to go the other way.
Both Saturday, you will be at Acrisure Stadium for Steelers hosting the Bengals. It will be the 51st anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, December 23rd, 1972, with the Steelers trailing 7-6. The ball bounced around, and Franco Harris, he scooped it up barely before it hit the turf. And really, the Steelers, the rest is history. This run they've been on under 3 coaches, Noel Cowher, now Mike Tomlin. I think that game was on a Saturday afternoon in 72. I remember watching it intently when it happened. Don't want to be too wild about this. It's not must-win Saturday, but Mike Tomlin needs to end this year pretty well, doesn't he? He's not in job jeopardy, is he?
Yeah, we were talking earlier, you and I, and were texting, and I think this year he'll get a pass. Just say if they hypothetically lose the next 3 games, just say they finish 7-10, his first losing season as an NFL coach. If they go in the next season and you kind of start off and they really drop the ball, then I could really see a serious discussion where maybe the Rooneys elect just to kind of change the face and go in another direction. But Tomlin, this is when he's at his best, when they're really down for the count. And a lot of us on the media side of the Steelers have joked around that our money is on January 7th when we're in Baltimore and they're playing the Ravens, that somehow, some weird way, that they'll be in the position to get a wild card. They'll need a lot of scenarios, and they might not make it. This team will have to do this, and this team will have to do that, but it's just how the Steelers end up playing. But Tomlin definitely is in a curious pickle in this part of his career, especially the way that the teams, if Arizona and New England, when they came into Acrisure, if they weren't, with the records that they were and leaving with victories, it might have been a different attitude. But, 2 of the teams, the way that they've played all year, and you allowed both of those teams to walk out with wins, that's the one that really hurts. And again, Pickett's really didn't take that next step. Now they're turning to Mason Rudolph after Trubisky, wasn't able to kind of light a fire and ignite the offense. So, they're grasping at all straws, and they got a hot Jake Browning coming in, a hot Cincinnati's team. And even I know the Steelers had a good offensive performance against them when they went on the road and beat Cincinnati a few weeks back. But nonetheless, Browning looked good in that particular game as well. So the Steelers are going to have their hands full this Saturday.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. But I'll tell you, you're giving me some confidence. I had a buddy earlier today text me and say, hey, Cincinnati on the road with Jake Browning as their starting quarterback's a favorite against Steelers. We've got to hammer the Steelers.
I agree.
I hammered them, so
if I go down, I'm going to go down swinging with Tomlin.
Yeah, every single time. I've
said it a lot. I think his biggest curse is that team isn't that good.
Right.
When I've been in that locker room a long time, James Ferrier, Lawrence Timmons, Troy Polamalu, Casey Hannum, Alan Faneca, you're talking about high caliber players. And, you look around, and it's nothing to say, but, the talent of those guys aren't the talent that they have now. But yet Tomlin is able to keep the team above water, to keep them, from really, really suffering a horrendous, disgusting record. And while he's able to maintain that, and they finish 8-8, I do think a lot of other coaches might be, just before they went to, the 17-game season, 8-8. I think a lot of those guys might have been 5-11, 6-10, and those are the wins he's able to get. And he does have to take some of the blame, but nonetheless, we know he's a fantastic coach. And again, if anybody's going to do it, and Tomlin at least has the coaching ability to, muster up a couple wins before this thing's over in 2023.
Do any of the Rooneys ever make themselves available for public comment?
They have certain days. There's always some weird day where there's something going on, or sometimes, Mark Caboli, the Athletic, or maybe Brooke Pryor, ESPN, or Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Gazette, the high-profile writers, they'll get an opportunity to get a little bit more.
But they don't do a local talk show like Jerry Jones does.
No.
Do they even know the call letters of the local talk shows?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Well, the one thing I remember at camp a few years ago, this is when Mr. Rooney passed away, Dan, and I remember Art Rooney, there was a newscaster that just lost his father, and he walked up to him and he said, hey, I heard about the loss of your father. I know I'm going through the same thing, or something along those lines. But it's a very, everybody always talks about the culture and how it is in Pittsburgh, and I just think that's sort of they're well aware of who those people are, and they treat them like family. And I just think, again, for an owner of a team to walk up to one of those guys and say something like that, I just think that it just shows that there is a responsibility.
They got a heart.
A caring. It's just not about hey, I'm the owner, and I'm going to walk around here and again, and listen, Brett, you guys know there's so many times we're so blessed to be able to do what we do, but there are those weird moments where you kind of you kind of pinch yourself. And I mean, I do. I'm getting goosebumps right now just saying that. But when I'm in Latrobe watching camp and Mr. Rooney's just he's roaming around and he might just walk up.
Everything
to you
feels right in the world.
Yeah, and he just walks up, and now you're standing there on the sidelines, Latrobe, with Mr. Rooney, and he might just say, "How's it going?" And you're like, "Great, Mr. Rooney." Yeah, and you're like, "Wow, that was pretty cool."
Yeah. And Bo, I've often very favorably, respectfully compared the Steelers to the St. Louis Cardinals, and I know what firing a manager, what it starts. You think with Tony La Russa retired. And it, just felt I was all for Mike Matheny. Had never managed, but organizational guy, Cardinal guy, didn't work, didn't shield. Now Ollie Marmol, that first domino that falls, it really sets them off. The Steelers could look up, and if they parted ways with Mike Tomlin this year or next, and 6 years from now, be on their third coach.
Yeah, and and it kind of like the Bill Belichick type thing. If something would happen to Tomlin, I mean, Tomlin will be hired tomorrow. And he'll it's one of those type of things. The talent roster wise isn't there. The quarterback that they need to challenge the top teams isn't there, and that's something that goes internally down to the scouting department, upper management, and along with Tomlin, I know he has his say in that as well. So they're in a real conundrum with Pickett just because they missed on Dan Marino. He was a Pitt guy, a local guy. I know Pickett's from Jersey. But nonetheless, he played his football at Pitt, right next door to the Steelers facility. They see him every weekend. They see him day in, day out. So I think, not to say that they took him because they didn't want to miss on a Marino, but I think there had to be just a little bit of that. We can't let this guy go because if he ends up being something even close to Marino, it's going to be hard for us to get past.
And they took him over Matt Corral because I've told the story. The Steelers scout that was at every single Ole Miss game in 2021 scouting Matt Corral.
Yeah, but you got to do your homework, and that's why these teams are on the road. The guys that I know who they're in and out all the time, different places, and you're going in, and I'm going in the week following. We're taking our notes, kind of coming back, and you make your. But there's such a long way to go. But Pittsburgh needs to get roster better, and Cam Hayward, he's kind of like the last man standing. T.J. Watt's a fabulous player. He's a leader. Najee Harris, he is a leader internally, and but those guys still, Cam is really the face internally of that franchise, and it's that I think the Steelers way or that culture, those guys are going to have to really kind of pick up and kind of extract as much of Cam Hayward as they can before he eventually, kind of fades off into the sunset and, and finds retirement on his doorstep.
Yeah. Bo, I got to give you credit because you've been on the Bills for a while and you were ahead of the curve. Sounds like, it seems like now the national media has kind of hopped on the Bills bandwagon, but you were on it first. So I'm hoping because of that, you can give me somewhat of a positive outlook of what happened to me and Brett's beloved Cowboys on Sunday.
I was crushed.
I was too.
Yeah, it was an ugly, I think one of the worst ways to lose a football game, if you can lose 31-10, but when you just get the ball run down your throat like James Cook and that Bills team was able to do, we know it's just power football. It's old school football.
Made you like it.
Yeah, and I think that's the disappointing thing is, it wasn't like they were, these are some deep passes to Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. This was just them really, really just saying, hey, here we come, and we're going to do, we're going to run it on you, and we're going to run it a lot with success. I told you, that I think them, and they listen. The Cowboys have beaten the Eagles before. It wasn't like this was the first time, but 2 weeks ago when they beat Philly, big win. They're on pace to win the division, and now all these scenarios are, can they be the number one seed? I told you that's really when, that's you got to keep that momentum up, and that it's kind of like to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. You just can't fight them as good as and we all know that, but. I just think the Bills are a good football team. They're clicking on all cylinders, and they are really their backs are against the wall. I mean, there is no room for error. They're a desperate team. They're a desperate, dangerous team, and I just think they caught the Cowboys at the right moment. Maybe if this game's played week 3, we find a different outcome because there's, every week's important, but, there's just not that panic button. If just say the game's in week 3, you don't know what your record is going down the stretch. You want to win the game, but now we know what, a few weeks remaining in the season, and especially where the Bills are, this is a must win. Is it a must win for the Cowboys? It is, but they know regardless they're getting into the playoffs, one way or another. For Buffalo, they're going to have to scratch and fight to get their butts in there.
Yeah, and they're playing like it. They're playing really, really well right now. So it'll be fun to watch to see how they can wrap up the season. But, Bo, thanks so much for joining us. We got to get out a little bit early. But Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we'll do this again next Tuesday.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you and you guys, and stay safe and enjoy the holidays with your family and friends.
Thank you, Bo. Much love. Thank you.
Much love, my friend.
You got it. Bo Marchand, our friend in Eastern Ohio, covering the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Hewlett and Dunn. And if you haven't been out, you still have time. Go out and see the historic square in Collierville. That's where Hewlett and Dunn, that's where they are. That's where they've been since 1961. And you want to feel like the good old days, whatever you want to wax nostalgically about of how Christmas has passed, how they've been, we got them present right now in Collierville. And stop by and visit with Charles and Laura Hall. Charles started working there in his teens, and now with his great teammate Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also accessories, clothing, cap for any team, any season. Ole Miss fans getting ready to go off to a bowl. The Tiger fans getting ready for the Liberty Bowl. They got a cap for you. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, all the boots you may need along Tiger Lane for the Liberty Bowl. Boots for every occasion at Hewlett and Dunn. Put those boots on, Ole Miss fans, and wear them down to Atlanta next week to the Peach Bowl. From head to toe, they got you covered with every brand imaginable. Dan Post, Ariat, Anderson Bean, whether for men or women, and those jackets, Filson jackets, the perfect holiday gift. Men's and women's clothing, jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duckhead collection you'll find anywhere. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street or visit hewlettdunn.com, but better yet, get by the square in Collierville. Hats, sunglasses, boot care products, and I mentioned the hats. Every area team snapback cool hat you can think of. Mississippi State, the Tigers, Tennessee, Ole Miss, the Razorbacks, and for travel, the bag selection, top-notch. hewlettdunn.com, but please visit and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the historic square in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn.
Well, we got to get out of here early today for Ole Miss basketball versus Troy, so let's go ahead and get to Taco Bell crunch time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, high school.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is Aaron Rodgers made his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee show and indicated that he would not be returning to the field this season for the New York Jets. He's been pushing to play. He's been talking about it. It's been in all of the headlines. But he said, if I was, quote, if I was 100% today, I'd be definitely pushing to play. But the fact is, I'm not. I never thought he would be back.
Good judgment prevailed.
Really good judgment. I never thought he would be back. I thought maybe if they were still in contention, he would try. I think a lot of this was more of him just wanting to prove that he could get back out there. See, I can get back onto the field after a torn ACL in, 3.5 months? Ridiculous all around. I still love Aaron Rodgers, but I thought torn Achilles, yes. Yeah. Just
nobody comes back that fast.
No, I mean, it's impossible. I mean, so I think, whatever, fun, make the headlines, but it was crazy talk all around.
What I learned, the Eagles going the wrong way at the wrong time of year. Jalen Hurts is hurting and not playing well, and the Eagles so close last year in danger now of having to go on the road wild card weekend. They could lose out there on the road wild card weekend in the rut they're in.
Yes, no, they absolutely could. What I could have done without. Brett, did you hear what happened to the national sweetheart Tommy DeVito and his agent?
I heard he was Italian.
Yes, he is Italian.
That has been confirmed? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll still have to look into it.
No, there's trouble in paradise with Tommy DeVito?
There's trouble in paradise. According to some reports this morning, it really could. Tommy DeVito's agent had an agreement with
that guy?
Yes, that guy. With a New Jersey-based pizzeria to make an appearance on Tuesday.
This is a very Jersey story.
It really is. But the pizza establishment had to cancel the event because they said the New York Giants quarterback had doubled his appearance fee. According to them, it started off as $10,000, and their agent gave him a call after all of the recent success and said, actually, we can only do it for $20,000. So
seriously,
after all the success, his agent tried to make a quick buck, and now it is not playing out like he hoped it would have.
Yeah, and when he's on his 8th team, if that, in about 3 years, he'll probably regret big timing his home crew.
But his agent did get into the Italian American Hall of Fame or whatever.
They're Italian, huh? I didn't know that.
In case you didn't know.
Could have done without the soul-crushing agony of the Lakers losing last night to the Knicks on the night that the fans were there. Everybody evocative of Kareem and Jerry West and Wilt and James Worthy and Magic. And the IST banner goes up and the Lakers go down.
Brett, there was also a dog in attendance. I don't know if you saw the giant poodle, I think it was. It was sitting courtside and got a lot of...
Had a seat? Jack Nicholson's old
sitting
seat?
under a seat. He was just laying there, just enjoying the game.
Full freight?
Good question. I don't know.
Man, I saw that too, Brian.
Yeah, I think he's like a celebrity dog or something like that. I think he's famous on social media.
Think we've lost our minds?
Well, maybe a little bit.
Dog.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Where are you being tonight, Brett?
Being me to New Orleans, Ja versus the Pelicans, and maybe against his old buddy Zion.
Yeah.
Currently, the Pelicans in the 7 seed. Grizzlies season reboots tonight, but good place to be tonight is FedEx Forum. You better get down there now and get in your seat.
Well, Brett, I was about to say, today is really the day you need to be in multiple places on the Beam machine.
It allows that.
It really does. But you're going to go to New Orleans, beam me down to FedEx Forum to see 22 versus 23, Memphis versus Virginia, Tony Bennett versus Penny Hardaway. It's going to be a really, really good atmosphere tonight, a really good game tonight. And hopefully, Brett, what did you say earlier? In the 70s is what you want it to be?
I want it to be for the Tigers. 4 NBA games tonight.
Yeah.
Only 4 top 25 college basketball games, 2 in this area.
Isn't that crazy?
We got the action next to one of them.
We got the action next. No, it's a lot of games tonight, but a lot of kind of meh on the schedule.
Really is.
In college basketball.
Until the weekend, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, really. Let me get the total 41 college basketball games. That's Division I versus Division I games tonight. And you're right. 3 of the top 25 teams are playing tonight in this area. So it'll be a lot of fun. But like I mentioned earlier, we're out early today. We got to get to Ole Miss versus Troy. Pregame starting at 5:30. Tip 6 o'clock. So that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your night. If you're heading out to FedEx Forum, drive safe. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You could just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. the Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.